Coming up in part 2 of this episode with Christie Skousen.
I feel like this is just the pattern of life, right?
Right.
Is this expansion, and then we get contraction, and there are things you gain in the expansion phase and lose.
Yeah.
And there are things you gain in the contraction phase and you lose things too, and I just think there must be something in my spirit that says, there's more to you than this.
Yeah.
And so the way that I've gotten out of this is,
I'm Becky Brower, and I'm a Sendy Mom. Welcome to the Sendy Mom Podcast.
Okay, so what made you decide to do the Peery Music Academy, and how did that come about?
Yeah, so I've been teaching since I was 9. I moved back after college, had all these loans. The easiest way for me to make money was to teach piano.
Yeah.
So I ramped up to 50 students right away. I paid off my loans in a year. I bought a car. I won a piano. I bought my Steinway. Again, that same process that my parents, you want the thing, you do the work, you get the thing.
Right.
So
it's actually pretty simple, right?
It's actually pretty simple.
Yeah.
I mean, I was teaching 8 hours a day, 5 days a week.
Yeah.
It's a lot of, but I was single. It could all go towards my loans, and I was playing well. So that competition and the piano.
Were you married
worked
at
out.
the time?
I wasn't married. So it was just me. And then, because I never wanted to be a teacher. That was just I was feeling quite lost after graduating from college. I did this whole piano performance thing, best teacher in the world, and came out of it going I don't even know what I want to do with this anymore. It was kind of terrifying. Totally lost. So instead of spinning out, let's get rid of debt. So that was my focus, and it got me out of my funk. And then I did get married. I was just, after I had my finances settled, I went back into what do I do now? And I was thinking maybe I go back to school in piano. And again, I mean, the beautiful thing about being really, really, really good at something is you get to be really, really, really good at it. The hard part about it is it's hard to choose away from it.
Yeah, that's true.
And I feel like I've learned to do that a little better as being middle-aged.
Yeah.
But it was kind of unfathomable for me to kind of start over at anything.
Okay.
And I think because of that, I just went and did.
Because you've been climbing this mountain the whole time, and you get up to the summit and you're like, oh, there's other mountains around here, but I have no idea how to get to any of them.
And I'd have to climb those again. So why not just camp out at the summit?
Exactly. Right.
Well, because then you might not realize these other parts of you.
Right.
And develop many, we all have so many parts of us.
Right.
And so, I mean, I wish there were a more romantic answer than this, but it's because I was good at it. So then I get married. We move to the Bay Area. I have a 5-month-old, and my goal was, I am not going to touch piano again. This isn't what I wanted to do. There was always a part of me that I loved
a little
it.
bit,
Yeah, but kind of like I've got to move away from this.
Yeah. Go climb another mountain.
Yes. But I have this 5-month-old, and the big revelation to me at that point was, and I did not know about myself, I'm super intense.
What? That is so surprising to me, Christie.
It's so easygoing.
In some ways, you really are. You're kind of an interesting mix of intensity and chill.
I can be so chill. But when you took away the piano, the teaching and the playing, all that intensity, guess where it was directed? At my 5-month-old.
At your kids, yeah, for sure.
Bad.
Yeah.
And I was not a healthy parent. I was approaching motherhood with him like I did my own practicing, what I expected from my students. We had a schedule. We were going to do the thing. You were going to have, I had his whole future planned out in my head. I'm planning backwards at 18.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's what you were used to.
This is what so now I'm just going to funnel all this energy into this kid. I have a very sensitive first child. I mean, as I've been willing to get to know him and actually know him instead of what I thought he should be, right this is a whole other path and journey, right?
Right.
But as I've gotten to know him, he was very sensitive, very smart. That intensity was not healthy for him.
Yeah.
So my solution to that was, I'm so brilliant, have another kid so they could entertain each other and start teaching again.
Yeah.
So that's when I started teaching again. So I could like have this place of that intensity being okay.
Yes.
And they can entertain each, like I can, dilute my attention a little with the two of them. They can be buddies. And then I remember reading, this is so unromantic too. I remember reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yeah.
And one of the things that often happens, I'll read a book and one thing will stay in my head forever.
Oh, yeah.
For all 300 pages, that was it.
Yeah.
And it was saying, people that are good with money are making money without work. Your money's making money for you.
Yeah.
I watched my mom, who taught my whole life growing up, right? And
trading time for money.
Time for money.
Yeah.
Right? She and as soon as she stopped teaching, she stopped making money.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And now I was just like, I can't sign up for that. Like that's the paradigm that I've been given. And so that's when I started my school. And I said, I'm just going to hire other teachers. And so I hired other teachers. We had a few recitals. I didn't like how their students, I'm just going to say honestly, I didn't like how their students played.
I know that's hard, right? You have a standard, right?
Yes.
And it's hard when you watch other people not be as passionate as you are about it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And so it was fine. This is what I've learned later in life too. However, they were doing it is fine. It's just not the way I wanted it done. So which is also fine. There's not a hierarchy to it. It's just that's not, if I'm putting my name on it, that's not what I want.
Yeah.
So at the same time, I had been hired by the San Francisco Conservatory Prep.
Okay.
And they wanted me to run their beginning music program.
Okay.
And so I started writing a curriculum. And it's so that other teachers coming in, they could know, like, these are the standards, follow this. So it was for the teachers that I hired and then for the teachers I was training at the San Francisco Conservatory.
Oh,
So
okay. And that's when you
doing.
developed that structure, that course, and then you just took it to online classes with other teachers and things like that. When did you start that?
I probably started that probably 10, 12 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. Because the teachers, what I realized is just the best way to do it is by, like is I would have you send in your students playing. And that's how, like, just knowing it intellectually is a different thing than actually knowing how to pass it on to a
and that was,
student.
I thought that was a really good way to do it too, because we were actually all watching the same thing and looking for the same things.
Yeah.
And there is like a formula to it. There's a recipe.
Yes.
And if you see those same things, then they're actually going to turn out. And the more that I've taught it too, the more that I understand it too. Because I'll tell people, like, this is because we don't want people to be really tense, right? And so sometimes you think of muscle builders and you're, so tense or whatever. I'm like, no, we know when to be tense and where to be.
That's right.
All relaxed, right?
Right.
And that's what that's about.
Right.
And because so often either we're too tense or we're too too loose, right? So it's about teaching your body how to do it, and you do it really slowly.
Yes,
right.
Teaching your body how to. So it's just body awareness.
Yep. And then just like Mary Lou Retton, it becomes natural.
Yes.
And then it just comes, because that's what I've seen. My kids who have gone through that foundation stuff, they they add it to their own pieces. You don't even have to tell them a lot of times, unless sometimes you do. You have to take them back to Hannah and say,
right.
Okay, we're doing muscle builders and power fingers again.
That's right. It's all dynamic, right? Like that's one of the things I learned through motherhood, especially through motherhood, is just I kept thinking, if I just can find the right formula, the right balance, the right work-life balance, the right attention balance, and I would find it like briefly and then it would shift.
Yeah. That's what makes it so challenging. So how have you shifted your parenting? Like, how do you teach your kids to be resilient, and how do you teach them to, have their independence? Because it's interesting. You said that, your parents were really good about just letting you be yourself, but, and free, but how you kind of put a little bit more of this structure into their life. So.
Yes, at least with the first one, and then less so with all the consecutive ones. Yeah. Like I give the last one, I have 4 kids, and the last one, the older ones pointed out for sure, like she has a lot more freedom. I've just relaxed a lot. I think, I think one of the things that middle age affords you is the chance for a lot of things to kind of blow up, and a lot of blessings too, for sure, for sure. But, you're born and raised in whatever structure. You're given all that structure, whatever that looks like.
And it's not wrong or right.
No, right, right. But in the time you think it's the only way and it's the right way.
Yes.
And because you're kind of told that, and you kind of have to buy into that to do it, because it's just like in the habits foundation stuff, the piano stuff, is if you start with something that's really open-ended, it's really confusing as the first steps. You need the first steps to be do this and now this and now this. If you're just like, I don't know, kind of explore it. You're like the really talented ones that I feel like that's the exclusive party club. Like only the talented ones, the ones that already have an affinity for whatever it is, mothering, playing the piano, being organized. They're the only ones that are going to be able to do that. So
be successful at it.
So if you have that natural gift, good for you. And if you don't, I need a process of step by step by step. Then, so I see that as like a real refinement, and it's kind of rigid and it kind of contracts. It feels contracting to me. Like things get smaller, your choices get taken away, and you do the one thing, right? And then there has to be a process of expansion where you say, I know this now, and now I'm going to break free of it and discover how to use it in that like exploring phase.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. And then if we stay in the exploring phase forever, then we just wander around and we don't ever really get back down to making progress in a certain direction because we're always like, what's over here?
Yeah,
and so then we come back and I feel like this is just the pattern of life, right?
Right.
Is this expansion and then we get contraction, and there are things you gain in the expansion phase and lose.
Yeah.
And there are things you gain in the contraction phase. And you lose things too, and I don't like this. This is one thing that I don't like. I like this. If you could just say, Christie, your choice, I'd say, keep me like as the queen of some small thing. And I'll just feel so great.
Right.
But I'll just feel great about it. And I can master that one thing and sit on my throne. I think and I just think my spirit, there must be something in my spirit that says, there's more to you than this.
Yeah.
And so the way that I've gotten out of this is things blow up for me. Right.
Okay.
So, whether it's my brother dying, my older brother died when he was 48, or my parents getting a divorce, or my kids having different relationships with the church, or I could list a few more that are just like that blew my world up. That blew it up. Because I say, I want to stay right here. I know just what I'm doing. I know the rules. I can be very, very safe.
Yeah.
And then the people around you make choices. I've made some choices in my own life that blow it up, where you literally it blows up and you're out here going like, I don't know.
And then you have no foundation.
You have no foundation, but you did have this.
Right.
Right. So
you try to go back to that.
So you gather and you rebuild and you build something new. And then I tend to like here again. And I hope at one point in my life, I think I'm getting more comfortable with this. That I don't cling so strongly to this space that I have to have a blow up to gently leave it. And
and if I can
elsewhere.
use a musical, analogy, that's phrasing. And our life is.
Yes. I like it.
Our life is like filled with those, phrases where it's coming out and then it goes back in.
That's the beauty. That's what makes it beautiful.
What makes music beautiful.
Pop music, when you just tippity tap it into a computer with just let's play all the notes in rhythm accurately, and 100% of the time they'll play it accurately.
It's not beautiful.
It's robotic. It's not. It's not touching.
Right. Exactly. It's that phrasing and that shape that makes a life beautiful.
It's the tension release.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good. There you go. Okay, so tell me a little bit about some of these blow-ups that you had to kind of go through. How old were you when your parents divorced?
I was, it was post-college, so it was 23.
Okay. Yeah. Very good. Were all the kids out of the house at that point?
Yeah. My older brother, he went to school in North Carolina, so he left Utah at 18 and never came back. Like he's
still there.
He's the one that passed away, but that's where his family is. Yeah.
Okay.
So he was still there the whole time. That's okay. Yeah. He went to Wake Forest and then moved to Cary and was there for the whole time.
Yeah.
And then my younger brother was serving a mission.
Okay.
In the Ukraine, and I had been gone to Peabody. So
Okay.
yeah, it was a classic, empty
All the
nester.
kids are out of the house now, and, we have nothing in common.
I remember being asked this at the time too, like, what happened with your parents?
Yeah.
And people want a quick answer.
Yeah.
And there are sometimes nice, quick answers, but even those nice, quick answers,
Mm-hmm.
are more complicated
Of
than
course.
that.
Of
So,
course. Yeah.
yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
they were, married for 25 years and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and then they got
And,
divorced.
and I'm not, as curious about that as how it affected you
Mhm.
and how it affected your life going forward. As far as like, did it kind of destroy your world? Like, I
Yes.
always thought that this was going to be, this is how marriage worked, especially
Yes.
with your personality of wanting it
Yes.
right here.
Yes.
So how were you able to kind of come back to the center again?
Yeah. Yeah. It was a complete blow up. Like I
Mm-hmm.
literally felt that. I remember just like walking around crying all the time. And I remember that's how it literally felt. It felt like the planet that I existed on had been blown up. And I
Wow.
was out in space, like with nothing to grab onto.
And
Nothing.
maybe that's part of the reason why you kind of, after you graduated, didn't know really where to go as well.
Yeah,
Was that
maybe.
part of it?
Maybe. I've never
Yeah,
tied
who
those two things
knows?
together.
Yeah,
That's so interesting.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 So, but there are times in our lives, and then, but what you kind of came back to, at least with your after college and things like that, was like, I'm going to go back to what I know. And so
Yes.
maybe
Yes.
that's actually a really good
Yes.
tool,
I don't
is to
know.
just go back to what you know
Maybe.
until things start making sense again. The worst thing you
Yeah.
can do is just to stop living,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so you just have to take steps forward and recognize that everybody can make their own decisions about things. Your parents, it doesn't really matter what caused it. It's all about what happens within you and how you view yourself and
Mhm.
how you view the world according to, what you want in
Mhm.
your life, and being able to find those thoughts that are going to bring you to those kind of places, and that love for both parents, instead of and compassion and understanding and all those kinds of things. So let's kind of fast forward to your divorce.
Mhm.
Like,
We were married for 26 years. I think it's a common story of you build a dynamic throughout that marriage
uh-huh,
and habits and ways of treating each other and just patterns that for some people, and I wish it could have been us or me, like that can navigate that okay. And
uh-huh.
some others, it feels like you're dying. Like I
Yeah.
have to make a change. Like this has to be. It's just very unsettling.
Yeah.
And we still really love each other. We're really trying to do divorce well in the
Yes.
sense of co-parent. I mean,
Yeah.
I never thought I was going to be a divorced
Uh-huh.
woman. I don't think you get married thinking that you're going to
Yeah.
get divorced ever. And it does impact the family. I feel like again, if your family is like this and it gets blown up, can you expand it, right? And create
Huh.
something new
Yeah.
where all are included,
Yes.
And I think why not? I mean,
Mhm.
I know it's hard, but
Yeah.
if they're lovely people, it's like my first husband, Thomas,
Yeah.
he's such a wonderful person.
Yeah.
He's not any of the things you would say, like, I can't have you in my life,
Right.
So
Uh-huh.
why why not? It would
Yeah.
just be because of the pain of the loss of that. But can
Can
we
we move
use that?
forward?
Can we
Can we
move forward?
take what we've had, and we move forward in a different
That's
direction?
right.
And
That's
and
right.
that's even better than what we had before. Yeah.
You would think that's possible,
Yeah,
right? Like, and through
absolutely.
God, all things are possible.
Yeah.
Like I feel that
Mhm.
there's an expansive that's possible. That's what
Yeah.
God does best
Well,
is
you certainly don't
recreate.
have any of the victimhood that sometimes accompanies some of these
Mm,
divorces and things like that. Because I think just feeling like you have power, like you're empowered to be able to make choices, helps you to feel more in control
mm,
of the situation, being able
yeah,
to expand and come back
yeah,
to each other. So that's really
yeah,
great.
yeah.
So what are all your children musicians?
No, no, they all were. I tried to do the same thing 2 hours a day. That did not work out for my family, but my first one got the most attention. He's quite a
Yeah.
good pianist, and he does play. All of them play. Hazel, my second, Christian's my oldest, and Hazel, yes, played. She was
Yeah.
mostly a soccer player, a really competitive soccer player. It took up a lot of her time, but she can play too. Parker, my third, he's Yeah, they all
Mhm.
play.
Yeah.
Elsa got out of it the most because she was a competitive gymnast, which takes
Okay.
up so much time. So by fourth, fifth grade, I think fourth grade,
Uh-huh.
maybe sixth grade when we moved here, it was sixth grade where she stopped. So
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, they just found their other stuff,
Yeah. Yep. As they do.
as
Okay.
they do.
And you allow that, there's structure, there's
Yes,
love,
I
there's
learned to do it. Becky, it was
yes.
hard for me. It was hard because it's part of my identity.
Right.
And you see these families on the Instagram, or,
Right?
with
Yeah.
all their kids playing
Yes,
together.
the Jenny Oaks picture
Yes.
family and stuff.
Right. You're like,
And,
okay, well, fail on that one.
I
You know
know.
what I mean? Like,
I had the plan too. My whole family was going to be part of our family
band.
band or whatever.
Right.
But yeah,
There's
my
other
daughter
things.
is a singer. She's a really good
Right,
singer, right? And she
Is it
plays the
Ashley?
piano. Ashley.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're really good. You
Oh, I
remember
don't know.
these
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
And they all play, but yeah.
Yeah,
Not
right.
even to the level, all of them, that they can even play hymns, all of them,
Right. No, I
but
would have
it's
to work a
okay.
little.
They can
Right.
read. They can read music.
Right.
And they have all these other great things that they do. And you just celebrate those things and let them, it's kind of fun to just watch it unfold, right?
Yes. That's the phase
Do you
I'm
have any
in.
kids
Just
that are
watch.
married yet?
None.
Okay.
Do you?
And you sound like you're mad about that.
Well, it's just like, come on.
Get on the ball.
I wonder. I think that could save that could have saved the marriage, right? I think that's the point. Like, if you could plan backwards,
It's
anybody
true.
who's listening, get your oldest kids to have grandkids
Yeah.
before your youngest one moves out, because it's such an easy joining transition.
I love that idea, actually, because I do have grandkids and I have
You do?
kids at home. Yeah.
Oh, you
And
do?
so,
See?
but
It recenters
I
you.
haven't always felt like I've loved it though, because
Mhm.
I kind of felt like I still have children. It's hard to be a grandma and a mom of kids still. I'm like, I
Okay.
need a break. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Like, I
yeah.
kind of felt like I've been a mom, and I'm super intense, like you are,
Yeah.
and so I get super intense on my kids and stuff.
Yeah.
But I've gotten to this point where I'm like, I'm tired, and I want to have a little bit of a break. But then I've got the grandkids, which I love, and
Right.
who are adorable and wonderful, but I don't want to babysit them all the time,
Right.
and maybe I never will, but I'm kind of navigating that field as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's okay. You can show up as any kind of grandma you want. But anyway, I love this idea though of this transition, and that maybe that's easier. And one thing I will say that was really nice with my kids getting married, I have my third one getting married in another month
Wow.
or so. And it is really
Wow.
nice as they get older and they start like blossoming, or they find their person, and that they help them kind of blossom and become who they are. It's so nice. Like, they come back and they're like fun to be around. They're like not angsty anymore. They
Yeah.
just are, and they tell you about their childhood and how much they enjoyed their childhood. And you're like,
it's positive.
oh, I guess I did it okay.
I don't know if I will be positive, but we'll hope.
And they all, and they turn out how they're supposed to.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, it's not all roses. I mean, my kids have made lots of choices on their own, but they've made them on their own. And I am really proud about that, that they're doing that on their own. And I used to attach like my identity to how my children would turn out. Right.
Mhm.
But now I'm a lot more of like, I don't take credit for the good things they do, and I don't take the blame when they do
I like that.
the bad stuff. Right.
That's right.
Because either one of them, it's really them, it's on them. And so if I can separate myself from them and just enjoy them and be like, oh, that's awesome. Like, one of my kids he's really into homesteading. He loves like farming.
Yeah.
And I go over to his house. He's the one with the 3 grandkids.
Okay.
And I go over to his house and they're like digging up their yard to like put seedlings in. They've got like their whole their workplace, just filled with these seedlings that they've grown in their greenhouse and whatever. So they're, and it's just fun to see them exploring these things and becoming parents, and they want to homeschool their kids, and they, like going through all that stuff. It's kind of
really
fun,
Yeah.
and it doesn't always happen that way. I understand that, they felt, and they went through their stuff too, but coming out on the other side is really nice. And so I guess the one thing that I'll say, because maybe you're kind of going through this with some of your kids right now, like I had to just stop worrying about them. It sounds kind of weird because people say you never stop worrying about your children. I actually could. I don't worry about them at all, because I kind of have this eternal perspective of like, even after this life, there's still time for them to do whatever they need to do. So I'm just going to celebrate them, like in whatever place they're at, and just stop worrying. Like it doesn't do them any good for me to worry.
Right.
It doesn't make me a better parent if I'm worrying about them. It just makes me more anxious.
Yeah.
And then I don't show up as a very good parent that way. So I choose to just look at them and think, they're amazing. They're wonderful. Oh, look, like when one of my kids was like, fallen away from the church, I'm like, oh, good, you're exploring your spiritual path. This is so exciting.
Yeah,
tell me all
about it. Tell me about it.
Right?
Yeah, let me know you.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. You
Right.
know, like as they're diverging on, I have a kid who doesn't have the same political views as I do. And instead of fighting about it, I'm like, oh, tell me about this. Why do you think this? And this is really interesting, and being curious about it helps me to stay grounded and helps me to be able to separate myself from my kids so that I'm not like attaching all my value.
Right.
And if you're not doing it my way, then my way must be wrong,
Right,
or
then who
you're
am I?
or
Right.
I'm right and you're wrong. If we're always trying to think that somebody's right and somebody's wrong, then everybody's going crazy.
Right.
So just let them believe what they want to believe and be curious about it. So
Yeah, that's great. That's great advice.
Yeah.
Was that hard for you to come to that? Was that
I've always
this?
kind of been like that. I kind of, not that I grew up that way, because my parents are very black and white, like, and they still are. And a lot of my siblings are like that. There's right and there's wrong. But I think living abroad really helped because I could see, I grew up in Idaho. But then we lived in California, we lived in Switzerland, we lived in Australia, and living in these different places and seeing the way that other families kind of behave and that they're doing things different, but it's actually working for them.
Right.
And they have great relationships. I'm like, oh, there's different ways to do it. And it's okay. And I can, take a few things here. And it's okay for my parents to have raised me the way they did. I think they did a wonderful job. And my siblings are doing a great job with what they're doing. But there's lots of different ways to do it right.
Right. Yeah.
And just appreciate that.
I think that's so great. Yeah. There are many ways to live a life. That's what I think travel really shows that.
It does.
And living abroad, I think, that's huge.
We always prioritized, these explorations throughout the world because we feel like it is really important for our kids to see how other people live.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's expansive again because you're here and then it kind of that's a healthy way to pull away from, without exploding, waiting for things to explode, which they will. But like that's a beautiful way to, and then you can take that and bring in your new one and then
I know. And that's how I feel about friends too, because we have lived in so many different places. And I used to feel really bad that I wasn't keeping in touch, like I haven't talked to you for a long time. And but I feel like I just bring them with me. Everywhere I go. And then you go back to each other and you still love each other. And it's so, this great relationship and it's okay, you don't have to worry about it and feel bad that you haven't reached out in so long, just
do it when you
feel it. Right?
Just do it when you feel it.
We still love each other. So it's all good. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I can talk to you for
you're fun.
This is super fun. I have some rapid fire questions for you.
Okay.
That I always do at the end.
Okay.
So first one is, what has brought you joy in the last 24 hours?
The rain.
Oh, me too.
The rain.
I know.
And I'm not a rain girl.
Oh, we've needed it.
The rain. I've missed it. It's been cozy.
It is cozy.
I've loved it. It makes everything so pretty.
Man, if I could just curl up with the book,
right?
The
rain.
blanket.
Yeah, it's been amazing.
Good stuff. Okay. What about the last book that you read that you enjoyed?
The last book I just barely finished, and I did like it, was called Lead Like Jesus.
Oh.
I think Ken Blanchard is the author.
Okay.
And he has a whole model of taking Jesus's attributes and applying them to leadership.
Okay. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it was really interesting.
Yeah, that's a little bit different.
Yeah.
But yeah, really good one for all of us.
I liked it.
Great. Okay. What about a documentary TV show that you like to watch?
Oh boy. You know what I like Love on the Spectrum. It's not really have you ever watched that?
No, Love on the Spectrum.
Yes.
Is it like a reality kind of show? Okay.
It's just it's kids, it's adults with autism and whatever.
Okay. Neurodivergent, whatever. Okay.
And they're just dating. And it's like a dating show, but
it's so sweet.
It's so sweet.
Because it's so vulnerable and authentic and real.
All of that.
Yeah.
And you relate to every single, they are the bravest human beings because they will say what they feel and they let their vulnerabilities show, and everything they do, I relate to, except I'm just too afraid to show it or afraid to vocalize it.
Yeah.
And it's just, they are so on. It's, if you want something to just feel good and happy and like humans are amazing.
Yeah,
I recommend it.
Okay, I'm
It's a
gonna
great
look
show.
into that one. Love on the Spectrum. Okay, we'll look at that. Okay, what about a charity or a nonprofit that you support?
I am part of, it's called Single Moms Mindset.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I joined it when I was still married, ironically. Maybe I
Interesting.
knew
You
I
kind of
was-
knew you were going that direction.
I don't know. I was here in Utah and I had so much more time because we had just moved here and
Yeah.
I wasn't teaching as much. And so I was like, how can I give back? So I looked on Just Serve. I found it. It's an organization that really tries to support single moms in changing their mindset. So they're given this kind of like life coaching, but we do it through we meet with them we meet in small groups and we go through a book that's chosen by the founders. So they're really successful in business and in life. One's a seminary teacher, a career seminary teacher. One did great in real estate. And they're just saying, like, you've been learning in your life coaching, and that we do know, like, the way we think matters, our habits every day matter, the little things matter. And these women who have often had their lives just severe. I mean, my life's been blown up, but their lives, they're left with like 8 kids to raise and don't have enough money and have to work 3 jobs. It's just ridiculous. And it's saying, okay, let's learn some tools. And so I'm on the board now, and they do fantastic things.
What a neat opportunity. I've never heard of them before, but I think that's
Single
great.
Moms Mindset Development is what they're called. I think it's singlemoms.org or .com. I should know. But yeah, they're great.
Okay. All right. Okay. What about a crossroads you're at right now and where you're wanting to go?
Yeah. Okay. So my youngest is just started college she just finished her first year at the U. And so I've stuck around here because she's close. And my other kid, I just have one that just graduated from BYU and then one that's working. And then my daughter's in Chicago. So I've kind of been an empty nester, but I've been still wanting to be in Utah, as you know, especially my youngest might need me. But she's moving to Australia next.
No way.
Yeah.
Where about?
In Sydney. She's doing a year abroad.
Cool.
Yeah. So she'll be going to the university in Sydney for a year from July to June for the whole year.
Wow.
And with her gone, I think I might
just go and travel.
I might, I might not stay in Utah.
Good for you.
So that's a crossroads of like where I want to go and what that would look like. And just go I've always wanted to live like in a big city. You know, I lived in Baltimore, but that does not count as a fun big city.
Okay.
That does not count.
Would you go like international, do you think?
I've thought, I mean, London has my heart, but I still want to be at my school. So these are the things I think the places that are most likely are Chicago.
Okay.
Because that's where my daughter is, and it's a fantastic place.
Yeah.
It's too cold, but it's an amazing city. And the Bay Area, that's just where
I love the Bay Area.
I know stuff, and that's where my school is.
Right.
So I'm kind of leaning Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's kind of exciting.
Right?
Very
like
cool.
8 months and then come back when Elsa's back.
But we've talked about when my husband retires, like just going and living on each continent for like 2 months or something, and just figure it out.
And figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. And go serve, go find places
do the stuff in the place.
Yeah, exactly. And go and travel and figure it all out. So
figure it out.
I think that's really fun. So we kind of talked about what about favorite vacation place? Do you have a favorite vacation place?
I like any place warm.
Okay.
Like really, I'm a sun girl.
Okay. So Utah's kind of tough.
It's kind of
tough. Are you here kind of for your mom? Kind of, she's aging.
That's definitely a factor.
Yeah.
That's why I can't permanently think I'm moving or I know to come back. It's me and my younger brother. Yeah. We'll be the ones taking care of her.
We didn't even talk about your brother who passed away.
Yeah.
When that kind of blew up. And he was 48, you said?
He had colon cancer. So go get checked. It's a very preventable cancer. Yeah, it's horrible. Left 5 kids behind. And,
that's rough.
Horrible.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So let's see. Oh, yes. What about a person from history that you admire, like a woman, Cindy Mom from history?
I would think my grandma that I never got to meet, my dad's mom. She died before I was born, but she was a real spitfire. I feel really connected to her.
Wow.
And so I'd like to I'd like to know her. I think she went through a lot. I just hear stories about her,
Uh-huh.
and
Did she have a history written down
I
at all?
don't, not that I know of.
Well, maybe that's your next job.
Oh, maybe.
Go and write her history. Like, seriously.
Hey, I'll ask my dad.
Yeah. Well, get all the information. I think that would be a really cool thing to do. I am
That's interesting.
a huge supporter of finding your ancestors, because there's just been too many connections that I found. Like, I'm like that person,
totally.
and as we look back to the past, we can
Yes.
pass on the things to the future
Yes.
that are important for our kids to know. So, yeah.
Totally. There are lessons learned, good and bad, that you can pass on. So
Yeah,
let's
exactly.
pass on the good ones.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think I should try next?
In your life?
Yes.
Do you surf? You do surf.
I've done it. I took a lesson once.
I think you should be a surfer.
Okay. Are you a surfer?
No, but I think it would be
Okay,
cool.
then we
we
should
could
do
be
it
surfing
together.
buddies. Don't you think it'd be fun to be like a surfer for an
Yes.
identity for just a short while?
Yeah, just
where
for a
you
bit.
wake up
Uh-huh.
and you're like, I gotta go get the
Go
surf,
get to
the waves.
surf. Yeah. The surf is good to this
Right,
morning.
right.
Yeah, give me one of those.
Right?
Hey,
And then we hang out, wait for the surf to come.
Yeah.
Then we do the day thing and then go back in the evening when it comes
Yeah.
back again.
I
But
love that.
I think it's a meditative space, like being in the water.
Yep, that's true.
And if you're going to be on the continent and you can go places.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I love that. Okay.
I think if you're in a surfing
Surfing.
community, I think you become a surfer while you're there
Is that what you do? Okay, so that's why you probably need to go back to the Bay Area too
and surf.
and surf. Yeah.
It's so cold.
It is cold. You'll have to go south. Maybe go to Los Angeles.
Okay.
Or San Diego.
Yeah, San Diego.
San Diego.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's a
We'll
little
meet up
warmer.
there.
Okay.
That
We'll
sounds good.
surf. We'll meet. We'll chill out. baby.
Yes,
Chill out.
that sounds like a
Calm
good
it down.
plan.
Oh.
Good plan. All right. Is there anything we missed that we should have talked about?
I don't think so.
I think we had a great conversation.
Yeah,
has
thanks. This
been
was
so
super fun.
I know. I loved going through the stuff about your cockatoo. How fun is that? Let your kids have, a pet if they want to, and let them take care of it. I think that's great.
Yeah.
Well, and just all of the tools that we've talked about slowing things down, about coming back to the center and gathering more things as you go through your life, and being able to recognize that it's a process and it's a journey, and it's not the destination that we're focusing on, and that there are different types of personalities. Some of us are really excited to be performing and be on stage, and you can express your music in any way that feels good to you. So yeah, really good stuff, and how to get back from, big blow-ups.
Yeah.
And even when you're the type of person that, just wants to be consistent, it's nice to be able to move out and in all the time.
Yeah,
so,
I like how you said that.
Yeah. So thank you for being with me.
Thanks for asking me. It's been super fun.
Where can people find you if they're...
You can find me. I have a YouTube channel. That's the Peery Piano Method. And my website is peerypiano.academy.
Okay. Very good. And you can always subscribe to the SendyMom.com, and there you can find, I'll send you newsletters, and I'll send you updates when we have a new guest and everything. So
cool.
Be sure and do that.
Proud of you, Becky.
Thank you. This has been really fun. You're number 40.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah, it's been really
super impressive.
Yeah, it's
really cool.
Thank
really
you.
Cool.
Thanks for being with us today, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you so much for listening to the end of this episode and for being part of the Sendy Mom community. I really appreciate my listeners, and it helps if you recommend this podcast to friends and family that you think might be inspired by this message. You can find us on all the social media platforms under Sendy.mom or Sendy Mom. You can also subscribe to sendymom.com to get all of the updates when there's a new episode released. If you are finding yourself doing some Sendy things this summer, tag me in any posts that you do under Sendy Mom. I would love to see some of the Sendy things that my listeners are doing, and I may just repost them on my channel for others to see. Also, I have been learning so much in my life coaching certification process. I will be giving some free coaching for a little bit longer. So if you are interested and want to know a little bit more about life coaching, please please be sure to sign up on my calendar that's linked in the show notes here. I am inspired by all of the interviews that I do. I am inspired by all of you. Thank you for being my Sendy community.
In the words of Eleanor Roosevelt, do something every day that scares you.